What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative. Today we are going to go over all of the things that I have on my February TBR. Beginning with my essay for the month out of Joan Didion's collection, We Tell Ourselves Stories in Order to Live. This is a read-along I have been participating with in a couple of years now with Kate from the Literary Apothecary. We finally made it to the section called Women, and the first one is called The Women's Movement. So that will be the essay we are going to read for the month of February. I have one here from a new to me author. This is called The Puzzle Master by Danielle Trussoni. Funny story about this one. I saw a review about it on Goodreads. I immediately clicked want to read, and then someone from Penguin Random House reached out to me and asked if I would like a copy to read and review. Of course I said yes, it was on my want to read list. Why would I not? The Puzzle Master is a suspense mystery thriller where reality and the supernatural collide when an expert puzzle master is thrust into an ancient mystery, one with explosive consequences for the fate of humanity. I am a sucker for that kind of thing every single time, so cannot wait to read this one, see what it's all about. I'll be telling you all about it. I'm going to be doing a vlog. I've got 4 mystery books that I have been reading and working on, seeing if I can solve them before the end of the book. Y'all know I'm terrible at that stuff, right? So this one will be making an appearance in that vlog. You'll have to make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can see if I managed to solve one. Another book that will be making an appearance in that is an arc I was approved for on NetGalley called A Haunting in the Arctic by C.J. Cook, another new to me author. I am so excited. This book sounded absolutely amazing. A horror mystery thriller. It's about a deserted shipwreck that is found off the coast of Iceland that is rumored to hold secrets and horrors, and I cannot wait to see what they are. Let's just keep going with the horror, shall we? Next, I'm going to be reading an anthology called Out There Screaming. This is edited by notorious horror filmmaker Jordan Peele. It's the February pick for the Literally Dead book club that's hosted by Books and Lala. I will link her channel and the video announcement for the book club if you're interested in joining. I thought I would try it out. Why not? I've been watching her channel forever and I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna jump in and participate in one, starting with this anthology full of all new stories by Black authors that are going to be exploring not only the terrors of the supernatural, but also the chilling reality of the injustices that haunt our nation to this day. I am so excited to finally read this anthology and hopefully get to take part in the book club live show discussion at the end of February. Let's go ahead and talk about my patron pick of the month, Beach Read by Emily Henry. Okay, I cheated a little bit. I spun my trusty wheel of names and it chose Kate. I told Kate, I was like, hey, you know that Emily Henry book you sent me for Christmas that you also have a copy of? What do you think about buddy reading that one with me since you're my patron pick of the month for February? And she's like, well, that's great. A romance story during the month of love. I am so excited to read this one. I think this one is going to be very similar to Book Lovers, which I love so much because it was literally a book that was written about people who love books for people who love books. I mean, there's just no better combination. But the gist of this one is it's about a romance writer who no longer believes in love and a literary writer who has been stuck in a rut for a while. I'm not sure how it happens, but at some point these two engage in a summer-long challenge that could potentially upend everything they've ever thought about happily ever afters. I hope this one has some of the same bookish banter that Book Lovers did. I cannot wait to read this one. I am so excited. I just love Emily Henry. Before we slide into all of the fantasy that I'm going to be reading this month, I want to talk about manga. I finally got all of the current issues of Spy Family from my library, and I am going to blaze through this manga. And perhaps I will even do a reading vlog. I'm all about vlogs this year. I am determined I am going to learn how to vlog, and I'm going to do it well, dagnabbit. So I'm going to try reading this and talking about it on the channel next month. Now we're going to talk about all of the fantasy that I'm going to read in February. I'm going to start with Vevan's Song, a science fiction fantasy dystopia novel by Jonathan Neves Mayers. It's the first book in the Vevan's Song quartet. It was entered into this year's SPFBO 9 competition. I am so excited to read it for myself. This is a book that I did accept a digital copy of from the author in consideration of review months ago. I don't even know how long. It was definitely before it was even entered into SPFBO 9. And I have to admit, I forgot what it was about. So I'm gonna take a look at the book description to refresh my memory and also to see if it sounds good to you. Years have passed since hostile creatures flew down from the sky and forced humanity to flight or flee. Now the surviving humans live in underwater cocoons, knowing that the world above does not belong to them anymore. I want to know how these cocoons work. Marla Hightower is just getting by with a job she loathes in a cocoon, longing for something more fulfilling after a rough start to life. Things change as she begins to develop unusual abilities, not unlike the winged creatures who invaded her world. Uh-oh. Knowing that being discovered will result in her being experimented on and placed in confinement, Marla plans to escape from the cocoon and launch up to the surface, beginning her dangerous journey to uncover not only her origins, but those of humanity's enemies. There is a lot of potential there. I am looking forward to learning more about these creatures. I'm looking forward to world building, and I am looking forward to learning about Marla Hightower. I have high expectations for Vevan's Song. There's another arc that I'm going to be reading. I got this one from the author recently. It's called Chasing the Dragon by Mark Taus. Mark Taus is the author of Nana, who you're probably going to recognize this book cover. It was all over the place when it came out. It's a horror story, but it also has a lot of comedy. Chasing the Dragon is what I believe is going to be a superhero fantasy comedy story. From what I understand, the gist of this one is there's a town that is just drowning in drugs and filth and just human indecency, and there's this wannabe superhero that decides he's going to get involved and save the town, and his name is Reformo. I don't know, but I am expecting to have a fantastic time with this one. I look forward to telling you guys all about my experience with it. This one does have a pre-order link and a release date, which of course you will find in the description box down below. If I did not read this one in January, I will be reading River of Stars, the second book in Lily Ann Crow's Will of the Wayfinder series. I read the first book in this series last year or year before last. It's called Dreams of Dust. It was entered into SBFBO 8. I read that one, reviewed it, gave it 5 stars. In fact, everything I've ever read by Lily Ann Crow, I've given 5 stars to. High expectations for the second book in the series. The third one is going to be coming out very soon. I'm so excited. In the first book, Dreams of Dust, groups of people, whole settlements was just disappearing. So a group of people were hired to band together and try to determine what happened to these people. Did someone take them? Did they just all up and leave? What happened? They do solve that mystery, but it leads to the revelation of something much bigger going on. And in the second book, River of Stars, in order to get ahead of the destruction that is headed for this little band's home, the Wayfinder has to lead them through a hidden realm, which is full of turbulent storms, nightmarish creatures. I am so excited to continue this series. Lily Ann Crow has always excelled at writing and developing characters, world building, and just an interesting plot and magic system. I can't wait to continue this series. Another fantasy series that I am looking forward to continuing this month is the second book in the Chronicle of Hanavar series by Howard Andrew Jones. This one is called The City of Marble and Blood, and I just have to let y'all look at that cover. Bane Books has amazing fantasy covers, just absolutely gorgeous. The Chronicles of Hanavar is a retelling of the legendary general Hannibal and the Battle of Carthage. In this series, the Dervan Empire has destroyed Volanus, which is Hanuvar's home. And when I say destroyed, I mean they burned everything to the ground. They sowed the ground with salt. And the people that survived, there weren't many, they took them into slavery all over the empire. Hanuvar has made it his mission to find all of his people and free them. And what started in book 1 is going to continue in book 2. I'm so excited. It's told in a sequential storytelling format, almost episodic if you were watching a TV show. It cuts out all the minute stuff like travel time and just getting here to there and all of this stuff, and you just get the good bits, in my opinion. So really looking forward into getting back into the world of Hanuvar. Last but not least, let's talk about a couple of rereads that I have going on. These are just if I have time. Priority is going to go to my new stuff that I've committed to or accepted for review. But if I have time, I will be continuing my Dresden Files reread with the short story out of Side Job called Love Hurts. It takes place between Turncoat and Changes. I have been dying to reread this book since I started my reread of the series. This is without a doubt my favorite book in the entire 17 books that are currently released by Jim Butcher for the series. It's my top favorite. So many fantastic character moments, a huge pivotal point in the series, and just one of my favorite perspectives of the entire series occurs in this book. I know that's vague, but I think that's enough for you fans of the series to know exactly who and what I'm talking about. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I think the only thing I am looking forward to more than my reread of Changes is when my husband reads it for the first time. I think he has 2 more books to get to and he'll be the Changes. Then the final book that I'm going to put on this TBR for this month is Towers of Midnight, book 13 in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan and now Brandon Sanderson. I cannot believe I am almost done with this reread. Just 2 more books. I would be lying if I did not say that I am looking forward to finishing this chunker of a series. It will probably be another 10 years before I bring myself to reread it again. But friends, that is going to do it for me for the month of February. Will I read all of that? Probably not. But am I going to try? You darn right I am. I'm excited to try these new to me authors. I have some books that I have very high expectations for. I'm going to be sharing all about my experience reading these books. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the vlogs or weekly updates that I'm going to be doing about these books in February. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, down in the description below, you're going to find all of the books that I talked about here today linked so you can read the full book description, pick up a copy if you choose, and on your way down there, if you enjoyed the video today, hit that like button and let me know. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.